Have you ever felt that? That sort of constant low-level hum of daily life?
Oh, absolutely. The phone buzzing, social media.
Exactly. The endless scroll, the work emails pinging,
Yeah.
maybe just that huge to-do list that never seems to shrink.
Mm.
It can seriously feel like you're just caught in this current, you know, always reacting, pulled every which way.
Yeah, by everything external.
Right. And sometimes you feel, I don't know, disconnected from who you really are deep down.
That quiet core, yeah, gets lost in the noise.
Well, that's what we're diving into today. It's a really transformative idea based on this fascinating perspective you shared.
Okay.
What actually happens when you, like, dare to just disconnect, to just be quiet?
It sounds simple, but it's powerful.
Totally. So for this deep dive, we're exploring the 5 key things you gain, apparently, when you bravely embrace that quiet solitude.
Right, the gains.
Our mission, really, is to pull out the core nuggets of wisdom, maybe some surprising insights, too, from this view on finding inner peace and clarity, and to really get why giving yourself that space is so, well, powerful.
And what's fascinating, really, is that the source material isn't just saying, take a break, have a nap.
Right, it's not just relaxation.
No, it's proposing something much more radical, almost. A complete recentering, a real, honest look at our internal landscape.
Reevaluation.
Exactly. It pushes back against that modern urge to always be on, always engaging, filling every silence.
It's constant.
We're talking about a fundamental shift, almost counterintuitive in how we deal with life, with ourselves, finding power in the very thing we often try to avoid: silence.
Silence, yeah.
It just begs the question, doesn't it? In this world that's constantly screaming for your attention, could stepping back, really stepping into the quiet, could that actually be the most proactive, the most empowering thing you can do right now?
That question hits hard because it slows right into the first big gain the source talks about.
Okay, what's the first one?
It's the ability to hear the voice of your own thoughts much, much more clearly.
Ah, the inner voice.
Yeah, and when we say inner voice, it's not just like the random chatter in your head when it's quiet, although that's maybe part of it.
Sure.
The source really frames it as your core guiding system, your intuition, that deep knowing, your true north.
The internal compass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The source uses that exact analogy, a compass. It's always there, always pointing you in your true direction, but it gets totally obscured by the sheer volume and the storms of daily life.
Right.
Imagine that compass just spinning wildly because of this constant tempest of distractions, news, social media, what other people expect, even just phone notifications.
It just whirls. You lose your bearings.
Completely. And you never really know which way you should be going. This isn't just about knowing what you want for dinner. It's about reconnecting with the basic operating system of your own life.
That's a powerful image. And
Yeah.
if we connect that to the bigger picture, it really shines a light on how many of us, maybe without even realizing it, are living lives shaped more by external expectations than our own genuine inner intentions.
Right. We're following someone else's map.
Think of it like being in a huge, echoey room, and it's just filled with shouting voices.
Okay.
You've got one group yelling about your career path, another insisting on the right kind of relationship, others screaming about what success really is.
So much noise.
Meanwhile, there's this quiet, wise whisper, soft, empathetic tone deep inside you, just trying to say, hang on, this isn't really what I want, or this other path feels right for me even if it looks different.
But you can't hear it.
Exactly, because the other voices are deafening. That subtle, authentic guidance.
Yeah.
It never gets a real chance to be heard, let alone acted upon.
Yeah.
We're just bombarded constantly, advice from social media, comparing ourselves, trying to meet expectations that aren't even ours. And this pull, this external pull, it can drag us so far from what we authentically desire.
So the life we end up living isn't really ours.
It can become a construct of the outside world, yeah. Rather than a true expression of our deepest intentions, our values, the quiet. It lets that whisper finally rise above the noise.
That shouting room analogy makes so much sense. It shows how easily that inner compass gets thrown off. And the consequences of ignoring that whisper, they can be pretty stark, right? Leading to this deep sense of misdirection, even if on the surface everything looks fine.
Like you're succeeding at the wrong thing.
Exactly. Imagine driving in a really thick fog.
Yeah.
You can barely see anything, so you just decide, okay, I'll follow the car ahead. They must know the way.
Right, it feels safer.
You keep going, blindly, maybe for ages. Then the fog lifts, and you realize you've arrived somewhere you never ever wanted to be.
Oh, wow.
You might have gotten there efficiently, successively even, but it's the wrong place for you.
Um,
Or think about a really talented musician. Spends their whole life just playing covers, songs the audience requests.
Yep.
They get applause, maybe fame, they're technically brilliant. But then they go home, and there's this emptiness, this gnawing question. Where's my music? When do I play what's inside me?
that hits home for a lot of people, I think.
So what does this boil down to for you, listening right now? It's about really asking yourself, is what I'm doing, the direction I'm heading, truly aligned with my inner purpose?
Or am I just following the car in front?
Right. Or am I just playing requests, maybe out of habit or fear or just because it seemed easier?
Mm-hmm.
The surprising thing is how rarely we stop to ask that
Mm.
and how much can change when we finally do.
And the power of reclaiming that clarity.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's not just some personal navel-gazing quest. It's actually the foundation for taking powerful, meaningful action in the world.
How so?
Well, when your goals, your path, truly align with who you are deep down, your motivation isn't forced anymore. It becomes intrinsic. It's unwavering.
Because it comes from within.
Exactly. You're not dragging yourself to do something you hate. You're doing it because it resonates, because it's an extension of you.
Okay.
And here's the key thing. Calm, reassuring tone. This inner voice isn't something you have to, create out of thin air.
Right. It's not a skill to learn.
No, it's not like learning French. It's about rediscovering something that's already there. It's
Yeah.
part of our innate wisdom. It's just been quieted, buried under years of external noise, demands, neglect.
So the quiet solitude helps uncover it.
Precisely. It's like turning down the volume on the outside world so that whisper can finally become audible again, clear and true. It's like, imagine clearing out decades of clutter from a room. Suddenly you see the beautiful structure underneath.
I like that. Clearing the clutter.
So it really raises an important question for everyone. What hidden intentions, what true desires, what core beliefs about your life's purpose might you uncover if you actually dedicated consistent time just to listen, without interruption, free from the daily static?
That idea of uncovering what's truly important leads us perfectly into the second point.
Which is?
Actually making time for those really important things, those foundational elements in life.
Prioritizing.
Yeah, because in this crazy fast-paced world, our time just doesn't feel like our own sometimes, does it?
No, it feels like we're constantly reacting, putting out fires.
Totally. And the source highlights that while the specifics of important things might vary, there are some universals, things that apply to pretty much everyone.
Like what?
Like genuine self-understanding, taking care of your mental and physical health, really taking care of it, organizing your life, setting clear goals, maybe developing new skills, or just reflecting on where you are, making sure you're still on the right track.
The bedrock stuff.
Exactly. The bedrock for long-term stability, fulfillment. But they're so often the first things to go when things get busy.
The nice-to-haves that get pushed aside.
Right. Think about it for so many of us. The moment we wake up, what's the first thing we do?
Grab the phone.
Grab the phone. The screen lights up, pulling us into notifications, other people's lives, before our own thoughts even get a chance to properly form.
Mm-hmm. We start the day reacting.
We immediately start engaging with what everyone else is doing or saying, without stopping to ask ourselves, how do I want to live today, this week, my life? It just keeps us in that reactive loop all day long. We're not intentionally choosing how to spend our time.
And what's fascinating, really, is how easily we get trapped in that cycle, that reactivity, and we unconsciously neglect the very things that build our future security.
We mix up urgent and important.
Precisely. Urgent always seems to win, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Those immediate emails, the quick message replies, the last-minute meetings, they scream for attention. They feel critical.
Yeah, you feel you have to respond.
But the important stuff, the stuff that's not urgent right now, like learning that language, meditating, careful financial planning, setting those big life goals, that's the stuff that consistently gets shoved aside.
Because it doesn't scream as loud.
Exactly. But it's the foundation of our future well-being, our growth. And the source points out something crucial. When you first pull the plug on all that chaos, when you step into quiet solitude, it can feel really uncomfortable.
How so?
You might feel empty or aimless, even a bit lost, like something's missing. It's described almost like withdrawal from caffeine or maybe from constantly checking your phone.
Like an addiction.
Sort of. There's this restlessness, maybe a feeling drained, empathetic tone, even a low-key anxiety that bubbles up.
That sounds tough.
It can be. But that initial discomfort is actually a powerful sign. It means you're breaking old patterns, you're reclaiming control over your time, your attention. It means the medicine is starting to work.
Okay, so that discomfort is actually a good sign, in a way.
It shows something is shifting.
And the source really emphasizes the change that happens if you stick with it, right?
Yeah.
Through that discomfort during a longer period of quiet.
Yes, the transformation over time.
It says after just a few days, maybe 3 to 5, something fundamental shifts in how you perceive time. That frantic, hurried feeling starts to ease off.
The pace changes internally.
Yeah, you start to notice actual mental space opening up. Room to look around, look inward, ask yourself those deeper questions without feeling pressured for an instant answer. And then by maybe mid-month, that silence that might have felt like an enemy at first,
Yeah.
or just an empty void, it starts to feel different.
How different?
It becomes a companion. You start finding your own rhythm again, a natural pulse that isn't dictated by Slack notifications or emails.
Your own internal clock.
Right. And this newfound space allows for really valuable things. Maybe you pick up a journal, start writing down thoughts you didn't even know you had.
Or just go for a walk with no destination.
Exactly. Just let your mind wander. Maybe you finally read that book that's been sitting there for months and actually absorb it.
Instead of skimming.
Most importantly, you start truly listening to your inner voice about where you want to go instead of just automatically following what everyone else says is good or best.
Letting go of the external validation.
So what does this mean for you listening? It means learning to release that relentless pressure. The pressure to do everything now, respond to everyone instantly. You start to redefine fast. It's no longer about speed being the best thing.
It's about intentionality.
Exactly. Intentional, deliberate action, even if it looks slower to the outside world, leads to better, more aligned results for your life.
And connecting this to the bigger picture. A month of quiet isn't just a rest stop. It's not just a vacation from the grind.
It's deeper than that.
The source suggests it helps you accumulate inner energy in a way that normal relaxation just can't. It's like a complete reorganization of your internal system, a full reset.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Maybe you genuinely discover, perhaps for the first time in years, how truly restful sleep sharpens your mind in ways you'd forgotten. Or how just an hour to yourself, totally screen-free, can unlock crucial ideas you kept overlooking in the rush.
Little things that make a big difference.
Absolutely. And when the month is over, the most striking change you'll likely notice is this profound inner stability.
Stability.
Yeah, a readiness to act that isn't dependent on external things like motivation gurus or deadlines. It's an internal preparedness, a deep knowing of what you need to do next because you've finally filtered out all those layers of external noise. Only what's truly yours remains.
Wow.
And another quiet shift happens too. Your whole attitude towards time itself changes.
How so?
We might initially think, a whole month of quiet, that's impossible. But after actually spending that time with yourself, really investing it, it starts to feel like the most precious gift you could ever give yourself.
Because it changes more than just your schedule.
It changes how you see life, how you make decisions, how deeply you trust your own power, your own direction.
That's profound.
So it raises another big question. In all your striving, all you're doing, are you truly walking your path, the one defined by your inner compass? Or are you just running as fast as you can in a direction someone else pointed out without really stopping to check if it's where you genuinely want to go?
That distinction, running fast versus walking your true path, is so critical. And it leads us straight into the third powerful game.
Okay, number 3.
Cultivating discipline and using your time truly effectively.
Discipline. That word can scare people.
Right. For many, it brings up images of like rigid schedules, denial, trying to squeeze productivity out of every single second.
Boot camp for your calendar.
Exactly. But the source is really clear. That's not what this is about. This is more like the art of choosing what's most important each day and then dedicating your full, heartfelt intention to it.
Intention, not just activity.
Precisely. It's about respecting your own life force. Because, as the source puts it so powerfully, time isn't just a resource you manage, like money.
What is it then?
It's life itself, a non-renewable resource. You never get a second back, ever.
That puts it in perspective.
Doesn't it? And when you immerse yourself in quiet solitude, one of the first things that hits you is this stark realization. You start to really see how you've been spending your time.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Totally. You see the necessary stuff, sure, but you also see all the things you do just to fill the void, avoid the quiet, escape your own thoughts.
The scrolling, the channel surfing.
You might even feel a jolt looking back, realizing how quickly days, weeks, even months have just vanished, without anything truly valuable being built or moved forward, just gone, trapped in distraction cycles.
Ouch. That can be a tough realization.
But the source frames it not as something to beat yourself up about. It's actually a gift.
A gift. How?
The gift of seeing clearly.
Yeah.
And because you see clearly, you now have the opportunity to change,
Yeah.
to choose a different way forward.
Okay, so it's awareness leading to choice.
Yeah.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is how the source suggests this quiet revolution in time management actually starts very simply.
Not with a complex system.
No, not at all. It's not about waking up at 4 a.m. or time blocking every minute, unless that genuinely works for you. It starts with a simple but profound question each morning.
Which is?
What are the 3 most important things I will prioritize today? Just 3.
Okay.
And then you dedicate your full intentional energy to those things. Not necessarily more time, maybe even less time, but all of your heart and focus within that chosen time.
Quality over quantity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when you do that consistently, day after day, time itself transforms. It stops being this blur that just rushes past you.
It becomes.
It becomes something alive, something that actively builds something lasting, something meaningful in your life.
That sounds great, but is it easy?
Well, the source acknowledges the initial phase can feel like pushing a boulder uphill.
Right. Old habits die hard.
Your mind will crave the old distractions, the easy dopamine hits from social media, the mindless entertainment, the familiar routines that let the days drift by without real engagement.
There's resistance.
Definitely internal resistance, a longing for the noise, maybe even the external validation you've stepped away from. Calm, encouraging tone.
Wow.
But if you can push through those first few days, those first couple of weeks, the change starts to become undeniable.
How does that shift feel?
You go from being someone who maybe starts the day feeling a bit aimless, unsure what really matters, to someone who feels each day has real value. Someone with crystal clarity about why they're living, who's quietly, consistently moving towards the most important goals.
It's about resilience then. Sticking with it.
Absolutely. Staying true to your intention, even when it feels uncomfortable.
So what's the takeaway here for the listener? The source explains that the real magic of this kind of time discipline isn't just about a better schedule. It fundamentally changes who you are.
Oh, so?
You start to see your own potential as way bigger than you ever thought possible. You realize that sitting alone, quietly, isn't lost time. It's not wasted.
It's fertile ground.
Exactly. It's the vital period where you're planting tiny seeds, seeds that will eventually grow into these mighty trees, providing shade, shelter, nourishment for your whole life down the road.
That's a lovely metaphor.
And think about it tangibly. Just one focused hour a day for a whole month, dedicated to something you truly dream about.
Like learning a skill, writing, planning.
Learning an instrument, starting that business plan, meticulously sorting out your finances, consistently exercising, meditating to clear out negativity, whatever it is for you. That adds up to 30 continuous hours of self-development.
30 focused hours. That's huge.
It really is. It's way more dedicated time than many people give themselves in an entire year, spread across fragmented, distracted moments. And the best part, you don't need to wait until you feel ready or perfectly inspired or have endless free time. You just need to start. Consistently. Let those small, deliberate acts build up.
So connecting this to the bigger picture, the source makes a powerful argument here. True, lasting life change. It doesn't come from those fleeting bursts of inspiration that fizzle out.
The New Year's resolutions that last a week.
Exactly. Instead, real change emerges from the quiet, consistent, honest discipline you cultivate every single day.
Building from within.
It's about building deep inner strength, so you're not reliant on external motivation, external circumstances to get you going. You just rise with meaning, with purpose, understanding your time is too precious to waste on things that don't truly matter to you.
That feels really empowering.
It is, and it leads to a really important question. How much more could you achieve? How much more could you become? If you committed to these seemingly small, deliberate acts of intention and focus, day in, day out, even when nobody's watching or cheering you on.
Steady, confident tone. Because you know.
Steady, confident tone. Because you will know deep down you're not just passing time. You are actively building a new life with your own hands, day by quiet day. And by the end of a month doing this, you won't be the same person. Not because you did one huge, spectacular thing, but because you consistently did small things with full intention, letting your real potential shine.
That sense of inner strength, building your life intentionally.
Yeah.
It leads us so naturally into the fourth benefit. And this one feels perhaps the most deeply personal.
Okay, what is it?
It's about lessening the habit of caring too much about what others think.
Ah, the people-pleasing trap.
Exactly. Now let's be clear. Caring about others, that's good. Empathy, respect, understanding, vital for society, for relationship.
Of course, it's not about becoming callous.
Not at all. But the source defines overcaring as prioritizing other people's thoughts, their feelings, their acceptance of you over your own internal compass, your own well-being.
When their opinion matters more than your own truth.
Right. It's when you find yourself constantly changing your decisions, your actions, maybe even your core goals, just to please someone else, or, crucially, to avoid their disapproval, even if it goes against your own happiness or values.
That feels familiar for many, I suspect.
The problem is when it becomes excessive, a pervasive habit, when it stops you from being authentic, setting boundaries, saying no when you need to, or chasing what your heart truly wants, just because you're scared of how others might react.
And what's fascinating, or perhaps insidious, is how this constant external focus subtly eats away at your ability to make independent decisions over time.
How does that work?
Well, if you consistently build your life based on what others think, you're building on quicksand, right? Their opinions change. It leads to huge internal stress, constant pressure, deep confusion, empathetic, understanding tone.
Because the foundation is unstable.
Totally unstable. And the source points out that real growth often requires periods where you deliberately choose not to follow the crowd, where you don't just do what others want, but you follow your own understanding, your own intuition.
Even if it looks weird to others.
Even if it looks strange or slow or different, even if it invites disapproval. That path, the one that's authentic to you, is incredibly valuable for your journey.
But overcaring stops you from taking it.
Exactly. When you overcare, you're constantly adapting yourself for others' comfort, their approval, their convenience. Often, they don't even realize the sacrifices you're making, your time, energy, authentic desires, just to accommodate them.
Doing it quietly.
If it's occasional, fine. But as a habit, you slowly, quietly lose pieces of your true self. Sometimes without even noticing, until one day you wake up feeling lost, unsure what you even want anymore, because you're so used to just meeting external expectations, making them comfortable.
That's a really sobering thought, the silent cost.
Yeah.
So practically speaking, what does this mean for the listener?
Well, the source clarifies, again, self-respect isn't about cutting people off or being cold.
It's not about isolation.
No, it's simply about valuing your own thoughts, feelings, and needs as much as you value others, putting yourself on an equal footing. And when you intentionally work on reducing that habit of overcaring, you gain tremendous inner freedom.
Freedom how?
Your decisions become much more confident, more authentic, truly yours, because they're not constantly being filtered through the lens of what will they think.
You're not tied to approval.
Exactly. You gain the space to make mistakes, learn from them, grow without that paralyzing fear of judgment. It makes you inherently stronger, more energized, more capable of navigating your own life with integrity.
And mentally healthier, presumably.
Hugely. You stop carrying unnecessary burdens, the weight of expectations, the need to perform. You don't have to try and be good in everyone's eyes or waste energy explaining yourself all the time.
That sounds liberating.
And a beautiful side effect. You start cultivating relationships with people who genuinely get you, accept you as you are. This leads to deeper, more comfortable, more authentic connections. Even if your circle gets a bit smaller, it's quality over quantity, definitely.
Okay, that makes sense. Deeper, truer connections.
And connecting this back to the bigger picture, the source offers a really clear, logical argument here. It's compelling.
What's the logic?
When your life is based on the shifting sands of others' opinions and expectations, it's fundamentally unstable because those opinions are, by nature, outside your control.
Right, you can't control what others think.
But when your life is based firmly on your own thoughts, your convictions, your inner values, you gain this profound sense of control and stability. Confident, grounding tone, emphasizing control and stability.
Because you're building on solid ground.
You become the author of your choices. You take conscious responsibility for the outcomes. That's true empowerment.
It really is.
So ultimately, reducing overcaring isn't about selfishness. It's about self-respect, valuing yourself as a worthy human being just as much as you value others. And if you can start cultivating this during a month of quiet solitude, away from the constant barrage of external perspectives, you'll start seeing the world more clearly, feeling more confident, and living a life that feels truly aligned with your heart day by day. It just makes you wonder, doesn't it? What choices would you make? What path would you forge? What genuine, unvarnished self would you bravely show the world if you truly prioritize your inner compass over external expectations, even just for a while?
That's a huge question to ponder. That idea of living by your own compass And that inner freedom it creates, it brings us perfectly to the fifth and final compelling benefit of quiet solitude.
Okay, the fifth gain.
It's the unexpected, often really surprising burst of new ideas. Creativity.
Ah, the aha moment.
Exactly. Now let's dig into this. The source suggests that new ideas, real creativity, isn't something you force or squeeze out through sheer effort, or by just consuming more and more information.
Doesn't work like that.
Apparently not. Instead, creativity often emerges precisely when the brain is relaxed, when it's free from that constant external noise, and not under pressure or stress.
So quiet helps creativity.
Immensely. Quiet solitude becomes this incredibly powerful time for your brain to do something amazing. Connect old thoughts, link disparate bits of information, maybe long-forgotten memories, all in totally new ways.
Making new connections.
Exactly. Creating something genuinely new and original idea. It's like your brain finally gets the quiet playground it needs to tinker, to combine pieces it already knows in completely fresh ways. That's where those breakthroughs come from.
And what's really fascinating here is that this isn't just, anecdotal wisdom. Oh, I get my best ideas in the shower.
Right, there's science behind it.
There is. Many psychologists and neuroscientists explain these creative moments, shower, walk, staring out the window, are linked to a specific brain process. It's called the default mode network. Calm, informative tone.
Default mode network, okay.
This network becomes most active precisely when your brain isn't focused on a specific task, when it's not actively trying to compute or solve something directly, when your mind is just wandering.
So mind wandering is good.
It's crucial for this. Think of it like a background process on your computer, but in your brain. It's quietly sweeping up old data from all corners of your memory, linking things that seemed unrelated before, reorganizing them in novel patterns.
Tidying up and making new patterns.
Exactly. And that quiet repatterning is the birthplace of many truly creative thoughts. The source actually references some compelling research on this.
Oh yeah, like what?
Back in 2014, University of California researchers found that people who had just 10 to 15 minutes of quiet, undisturbed free time, just letting their minds rest, generated significantly more creative and effective solutions compared to groups who just kept working without a break.
Just 10, 15 minutes made a difference.
Yeah, a measurable difference. And more recently, in 2020, Harvard Business School research showed that senior executives who took just a few minutes each day for quiet reflection, they made more accurate, more innovative, more outside-the-box decisions compared to those constantly immersed in data and meetings.
Wow, that's solid evidence.
It really demonstrates that profound creativity doesn't thrive in chaos or constant information overload. It needs inner space. It needs a calm internal environment for ideas to bump into each other, synthesize, and blossom.
That's incredible proof for just a few minutes of quiet. Imagine a whole month. So practically, what does this mean for the listener?
Well, the source explains the reason for that 1-month recommendation isn't arbitrary. It's tied to a natural biological process.
What process?
It's about allowing enough time for your brain's rhythm to genuinely slow down and recalibrate. When you stop the constant, relentless fire hose of information, news, social media, entertainment, chatter, your brain gradually shifts gears.
From what to what?
From a shallow survival mode, which is all about quick reactions, processing immediate external stuff, to a much deeper internal exploration mode.
Deeper thinking.
Exactly. This mode emphasizes calm, thoughtful contemplation, forming complex, long-term connections between ideas. But that shift isn't instant. A brain wired for instant reaction needs time, weeks even, to really adjust and settle into deep reflective work. It takes consistency and patience.
Okay, so the duration matters for that deep shift.
It seems so. And the source mentions even more fascinating research. Stanford University found that intentional boredom, deliberately putting away the phone, avoiding stimuli, actually stimulates brain areas linked to long-term problem solving.
Intentional boredom, I like that.
It helps people find genuinely new ways around persistent life challenges or develop breakthrough business ideas. And the University of Amsterdam confirmed that regular solitude significantly boosts self-reflection.
And self-reflection leads to?
Authentic, non-derivative ideas. Ideas that bubble up from your deepest self, not just copies or reactions to what everyone else is doing.
So, connecting this all together, a month of quiet isn't just about peace and quiet.
No, it's far more. It's a profound neurological recalibration. It helps your brain get used to deep thinking again instead of just skimming the surface. It can actually transform your ability to think creatively from a rare event into a consistent habit.
A habit of creativity.
Yeah. When you consistently practice this, giving your mind space to wander and connect, you'll start thinking thoughts you've literally never had before. You'll see elegant solutions where you only saw dead ends, and you'll feel centered enough, brave enough to actually act on ideas that are truly yours, not just what the world expects.
That sounds incredible.
So, new ideas aren't just about random flashes of genius. They are the natural, almost inevitable result of a brain that has rested, reorganized, and regained its freedom to connect and create. And all of this really needs that space, that stepping back from the noise, allowing silence to fully embrace you, maybe for the first time ever.
It really makes you think.
It really raises that final crucial question. What life-changing idea, what profound solution, what personal breakthrough might be sitting there just waiting for you to discover it? If only you dared to step back from the noise and fully embrace the quiet, even just for 1 month, it could genuinely be the month that unlocks everything.
So we've really dug deep today into how just 1 month of quiet solitude, really leaning into that space, can fundamentally reshape your inner world. Your whole approach to life, actually.
It's quite a journey inward.
It is. We've looked at 5 huge transformations, hearing your own thoughts clearly, that inner voice, making real time for what truly matters, cultivating that deep personal discipline, reducing that need to overcare about others' opinions, finding your own stability, and finally, sparking this amazing flow of new, authentic ideas. Creativity from within.
Powerful stuff.
It really underscores that true, lasting change often happens quietly, doesn't it, from the inside out?
Yeah.
Not with a big bang, but more like a gentle, persistent, internal shift.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ultimately, this whole deep dive really shows us that the greatest journeys of self-discovery, the most profound insights, those really impactful personal transformations, they often begin not with a shout demanding attention,
But how?
but with a whisper. Listen to intently in the quiet corners of your own mind. Thoughtful, reflective tone.
That's beautifully put.
So what stands out to you listening right now from all this? Maybe it's that idea that your biggest discoveries don't actually need more input, more noise, more frantic striving.
Maybe they need the opposite.
Perhaps they simply require less of all that, just a little more quiet. Imagine what you might uncover, what you might become, if you just dared to give yourself that space.